A brand new episode of the Happy Productive Podcast is about to begin. It's time to be inspired by simple and actionable solutions for your business. If you're an established business owner or just laying down the first brick of your future empire, the mantra is the same. We will flip any failure into a positive and use it to our advantage. This show is all about turning coal into diamonds. With the right plan and mindset, anything is possible. And your host, Jennifer Dawn, business coach and founder of The Best Planner Ever, will help you to achieve your ambitious goals. Success is closer than you think. Now, here's Jennifer Dawn.
Okay, hello. Jennifer Dawn here, and welcome to episode number 6 of Happy Productive. And today we're going to talk about worry. Doesn't that sound like fun? Woohoo! We get to talk about worry. And here is why I want to talk about this week. And so in the last few weeks, we have seen coronavirus, of course, sweeping the planet. And in some cases, I know that and I'm sure you too, have seen really amazing examples of social responsibility, people stepping up, people helping others, which is awesome. And then in other cases, on the flip side, I've seen like horrible acts of racism and panic and hoarding. Like, come on, you guys, really, what's the deal with the toilet paper? Like, we're hoarding toilet paper? It's ridiculous. And we've probably also seen, I know I've seen it, really bad examples in the highest levels of our government that are very, very disappointing in the kind of leadership that we have today. And in fact, in many cases, it's really just a lot of blabbering and it's not leadership at all. But here's the deal. We always can't look to our leaders to lead us. And right now, we have a lot of leaders that really aren't even worthy of our attention. And so I think that this is actually a great opportunity to practice looking inside ourselves and to start tapping into our own leadership skills. Because here's the deal. If we want to change the world, it's not about forcing others to our will or our way. If we want to change the world, the first place that we have to start is deep within ourselves. Think about this. If you try and like force other people to change, does it really work? No. And we see this all over the world where it really just perpetuates anger and violence, right? Think of terrorism, think of wars, where we go in and we try and force people to our way of thinking, and it really and truly just doesn't work. But instead, if we start to become peace and we become love and we become compassion, what this does is it creates an example that other people will want to follow. Think of some of our greatest leaders, and they embraced love and they embraced compassion. And even when they were sacrificing themselves and some opponent was beating them, who really had the power? It was the person who was practicing love and compassion. They're the ones that had the power. And in the long run, they're the ones that won because people followed them. It may not have happened right in that moment, but it eventually did happen. They create a beautiful example that other people want to follow. And that's what we want to do as well. And this is where the worry, right, comes into this, because if we're walking around all day in a state of worry, the only thing that it's going to do is start to compromise our thinking. And when our thinking is compromised, that's going to start affecting our emotions and how we're feeling. And then when our emotions and how we're feeling are compromised, that's going to change the actions that we are taking or not taking. And from there, that's going to actually affect our results. And then what's going to happen is that's going to spill over to everyone around you. And this includes your family, the people who are at home with you, your friends, your children, your partner, but it also includes your work family. Okay, think about this. It could be your employees, it's your vendors, it's your clients, it's all these people who depend on you and they look to you for leadership. And so when you're showing up in this worried, frantic, crazy state, you're doing a disservice, not only to yourself, but also to everyone around you. And so that's why I wanted to dive in deeper on the whole worry thing. And I'll just, spoiler alert, I want to see, can I convince you to drop it? Now, there's a wonderful little poem. It's one of my favorites. It was written by John D. Rockefeller, and here's how it goes. My life has been one long, happy holiday, full of work and full of play. I dropped the worry on the way, and God was good to me every day. I absolutely love this little poem because whenever I feel worried, it kind of is a little reminder to just drop it along the way. Because worry is simply going to sap your time, it's going to drain your energy, plus it feeds all those other emotions that we don't really want, like stress, anxiety, disappointment. All those things are going to feed off the worry that you're producing. So the series is called Happy Productive. It's the idea behind using our time and energy to produce, right, with our productivity, produce more of the positive emotions that we want in our lives, things that are like happiness and ease and joy and flow and peace and satisfaction and fulfillment, like all those things that we want more of. Because when we have more of these emotions in our lives, that's what actually helps us get more of what we want. I did this for years, and I see this happening all over, is that we make the mistake of thinking, well, if this thing happens, or if I get this material possession, or some event happens, well, then I'm going to be happy, right? If I make more money, then I'll be happy. If I lose the weight, well, then I'll be happy. If I find the love of my life, well, then I'll be happy. The problem is that this is actually backwards thinking. It's not getting things that are going to make us happy. It's being happy right now with everything that we have. And when we produce more of those positive emotions that we want, it's being in that state, a state of abundance that will bring us more of the things that we want. So this is where the backward part of it comes in. We attach our happiness to this thing in the future, so we end up not being happy today. But getting that thing in the future, if we really want it, we have to flip this, okay? We have to focus on being happy today, because it's being happy that actually gets us those things that we want. And worry doesn't lead to any of those things. So this is where it's super important to start asking yourself, and especially for those of you, if you're out there and you've labeled yourself a worrier, right? We label these things and then we do it for so long, it becomes part of our identity. And then we almost like carry it around like a badge of honor, like I'm a worrier, I'm a procrastinator, I'm a perfectionist. But guess what? It does not serve us at all. And so what we want to do is we want to start asking ourselves first, well, what's the payoff? Because you're getting something out of it. And if you can get clear on what it is that you're actually getting out of it, then you can start to replace it or do something different. So what is the payoff that you get for being a worrier? Is it maybe a great distraction? Because if you're worried, you can't deal with your emotions. If you're worried, maybe there's a difficult situation or a challenge in your life that you don't really want to face. So because you're so worried, it's a wonderful distraction that you don't have to face it. Maybe you're worried because you think that's what you're supposed to do. You saw your parents worry, you saw your grandparents worry, and so you just think, well, I'm supposed to worry too because worrying is making me a good parent, or it's what I'm just supposed to do and I don't know any better. Or maybe you've decided that I'm going to be a worrier because you're seeking some kind of attention, right? Hey, everyone look at me and comfort me and listen to me because I'm worried. So instead of comforting ourselves, we're looking to others to do it, and we're using worry as a way. So I think it's important to really start asking yourself, and it can be difficult, but you're brave. I know you can do this. Start asking yourself, what really is the payoff that I'm getting from all this worry? Because the truth is that worry is just going to feed all those other negative emotions. It's only going to compromise your thinking. And from that place, it's actually going to slow down your forward progress on your life, on your goals, anywhere that you want to go. Because worry, just stay with me here for a second. Worry does not put more money in your bank account. Let's say that you're worried about money and like, hey, I'm so worried about money. So when you worry about it, does it put more money in your bank account? No, your bank account balance doesn't change. Even though you could worry more, your bank account balance is going to stay exactly the same. And in fact, it's not worrying about it, clearing your thinking, and now switching into a solution-focused mindset. That's what's going to help get more money in your bank account. Let's say you're unhealthy or you're trying to lose weight and you're so worried about it. Well, I don't know about you, but anytime I've ever worried with my weight, it didn't like make the pounds fall off, right? I was still fat, whether I worried about it or I didn't worry about it. The fat didn't go anywhere. Think about your business. If there's a challenge or a problem going on in your business, when you sit and you worry about it, did it solve the problem? No, it does not change reality. So why not just drop the worry so that you can then tap into your higher thinking skills, and from that place, you can get to solving the problem faster, sooner, easier, without all that worry. Now, for those of you, if you've been worrying for years, right, and you would like to let it go, but you'd like to feel better, you'd like to give yourself a break, but you're just like not sure. Well, how in the world do I do that? So let's talk a little bit about that. And I want to share with you one of the tools that I've used to drop the worry, and it has worked beautifully. So when I feel myself start to worry, it's basically just a trigger in my thinking and a reminder to replace it with something else. Because I'm like, oh wait, I'm feeling a little worried. I know that I want to drop the worry. I've made that choice. And so instead of worrying, I'm going to do something else. And this is where you have to figure out what your something else is. So you want to find what's best for you. This is not what's best for me or for your best friend. This is what's best for you. Okay. So just figure out what you want to replace that worry with, and then take back your power. Because when you're worrying, you're basically praying for things that you don't want. That was a great quote I saw read in the Jen Sincero book, You're a Badass at Making Money, one of my favorite books. And I love that quote of hers of like, when you're worrying, you're just praying for things that you don't want. And when you do that, what happens? You transfer all your power to those things in the future, which might happen, but probably won't. Think of how many things you've worried about that never happened at all. Probably quite a few, right? So you're transferring all your power to these things that are likely to never happen. And that's not a good place to be. So instead, what we want to do is get present, get right now in this moment, take back our power, and then figure out what we want to replace it with. So I'm going to give you some ideas, but again, this has to be what's best for you. So you feel worry, and it's like, oh wait, this is my reminder. I'm going to replace worry with awareness. Okay, I'm aware. When I'm aware of things that are happening, I can look around, I can be aware, and I can go, hey, wait a second, there's some actions I need to take, and I can take them. But being aware is a good thing. And when we're aware, we can act quickly and efficiently. We can be productive with our time, right? So awareness is something you could replace worry with. Another replacement might be trust. A lot of times when we're worried, we are not trusting that the future is going to be okay, or that will be taken care of, or that the money will come, or whatever it is. And so this is one I use a lot, is that anytime I find myself worrying, it's just a quick little reminder, oh, wait a second, I'm not trusting, I'm not allowing things to work out. And they always do. In some way or another, they always work out. So you can replace worry with trust. Another replacement could be acceptance, because whatever is happening is reality. Right now, coronavirus is happening. Whether we worry about it or we don't worry about it, it's going to be happening. But wouldn't awareness serve us really well of the changes that I need to make? Wouldn't trust serve us really well of trusting that everything is, in fact, going to be okay? And wouldn't acceptance work really well in that situation? Because as soon as we accept reality and we stop arguing with it, we actually lessen our own pain and suffering, because we no longer need to spend all that time worrying about something that we truly can't change. So this can help us find peace in simply accepting it for what it is, but that doesn't mean that we don't take steps to try and obviously change or improve. So I want you to just think about this for 1 second. So let's say that you decided to drop the worry, and instead you decided to replace it with trust. So every time you found yourself worrying, Instead, you built up the habit of always trusting that everything is well, that everything will work out, that the future is good, right? And you trusted that all is well. I'm okay. I'm safe. Everything's working out to my benefit. And if for a second, I want you to just think, how would that change your day if you replaced worry with trust? How would that change your emotions? Every time you worried, instead, you were trusting in yourself, your abilities, your future, that everything was going to be good. How would that change your emotions as you go through the day? How would it change how you're showing up in your life? How would it change how you show up in your business if you showed up with trust instead of worry? Think about your family for a second. How would it affect your family if you showed up trusting that everything was going to be just fine? How would it affect them? How would it affect the people at your work family, your clients, your vendors, your employees? How would it affect them if you always showed up with trust? Would it make you a more peaceful, loving, grounded person, maybe? Would it make you more productive in your day? Think of how much time you spend worrying if you replaced it with trust. How much more of your productivity would you get back in your day? I can tell you that when I asked myself these questions, it was like, boom, mind altering, because it's like, wait a second, I would really show up a very different person if I wasn't worried, and I would get so much of my productivity back. And that's what happened for me. And that's definitely what I want for you too, because there is such a peace to be found in yourself with your own abilities, your own self-confidence, when you make the choice to drop that worry along the way. Okay, you guys, that is our lesson for today. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you'll at least consider dropping the worry, because it's truly not serving you. And I want you to take your power back and replace it with something much, much better that will serve you. Now, we're going to be actually diving into this topic even deeper this week on the Making Your Goals Inevitable workshop. I am so excited to share all the content from my workshop. I've got 2 spots left. So if you've been on the fence and you're like, wow, I really want to do that, but you're not sure, well, you might be home this week anyway. So what a perfect opportunity to come join us in the workshop. So get in there and secure your seat. You can find out information on either of my websites, either bestplannerever.com or jenniferdawncoaching.com. And on either website, just click workshops, and it'll take you right there to the Making Your Goals Inevitable. And guess what? When you're a member of my other coaching programs or any of my coaching programs, you get to attend like super cool, awesome workshops like this at no additional cost. Yes, they're basically free, and I do them at least every quarter. So what are you waiting for? Like, get in there. If there's areas of your life that you really want to change, check out Goal Achievers Life Coaching. This is where we take one life coaching topic every month. We dive in deep on it, and we work to apply it to our lives in a way that's fun but never overwhelming. And if you're like, hey, I want to work on my life and I really want to work on my business, then come join us in Inner Circle, because you get everything from life from Goal Achievers, and you get amazing business coaching with me and my whole team to take your business to the next level. Okay, you guys, and again, you can find out more from either of my websites. Okay, that's it, you guys. Drop the worry and then go out there and have a super happy, productive day. Bye.
I hope you found today's episode of the Happy Productive Podcast inspiring. Every successful business is formed by a set of small, consistent, and attainable steps. Visit us at jenniferdawncoaching.com to take your next step and learn how to meet your business goals. On the website, you'll find free resources, along with the links to the life-changing coaching programs that have transformed the personal lives of so many of Jennifer's clients. Many of them started their journey by listening to this podcast. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode.